Hey y'all, it's me Alex. Today I felt the need to follow in my ranty negativity of Monday's video that was apparently very successful and do an anti-haul. I've been meaning to do one of these for a while anyway, just because I haven't done one in a long time and there is a lot of stuff that I want to not buy. Some of this stuff is stuff that I am vehemently against buying. Some of these things are things that I want but am on a budget, so I need to talk myself out of buying them, and I'm going to say that I won't buy them, and if I say it on the internet, that means I have actual accountability. So this is an anti-haul. If you don't know what an anti-haul is, it's basically things I'm not going to buy. It was started by the amazing Kimberly Clark, who is back on the internet, and I am so happy. So this isn't going to be super long because I do have to leave for kickboxing in about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna see what I can rant about in that time. And I am just going to get started. Let me pull up my post from Trend Mood that I have screenshotted. Okay, so this first one is the Natasha De Nonna Mini Tropic Palette. Now I remember last year I had anti-hauled the big Tropic palette, and I was like, oh, I would love for her to make a mini of the last row with the blues and the greens, and this is extremely pretty, and I would definitely buy it if it weren't for the fact that apparently all of the Natasha De Nonna 5-pan palettes are very, very hit or miss when it comes to quality. And this is $25, which to me isn't entirely unreasonable because Natasha De Nonna is a luxury brand. However, given the fact that the quality of these has been rather questionable, and the last one that I was really interested in was the wine-ish colored one, and that was apparently really bad quality. I do not trust this one. I feel like for the amount of money that one has to pay for Natasha De Nonna, you should be getting consistently really good quality. Honestly, it's 5 colors and you're gonna be paying $25 for it, so it would honestly just be worth it to go to an indie brand like Divina or Luxie or Sydney Grace or even Colourpop or anything and try and dupe it out with those shadows, because that would be about the same-ish price point. And with those, because I've tried Divina shadows, I haven't necessarily tried any of the others, but I've heard that most of those are pretty consistent, and so you don't have to be wondering, am I gonna get something really good or really crappy out of the Natasha De Nonna palette. The next thing also comes from a luxury-ish brand. It is the Viseart by Alcone Downtown palette collaboration. This is something that I do actually want, but I need to talk myself out of. So Alcone, I think, makes stage makeup, but they've also done some MLM stuff, multi-level marketing stuff, and I don't buy from any multi-level marketing brands, so that already kind of puts me on edge-ish, even though Alcone itself isn't a multi-level marketing brand. They have some stuff under their umbrella, essentially, from my understanding. I don't know that much, I just know that they're related enough for me to be ugh. So this color scheme actually really appeals to me, and I think I could get some really great looks out of it. But I'm also realizing that I have the Viseart Dark Mattes palette, which I really love, and I have the ABH Subculture palette, and this looks kind of like both of those with a pop of a shimmery purple and a shimmery light blue in it, which I own a shimmery purple and a shimmering blue. So I really don't think I need this, especially for the fact that this is probably going to go for the same price as the regular Viseart palettes, which are $80. I don't know about y'all, but I don't have $80 to spend just for a new product or anything like that. The only reason I have the Dark Mattes palette was because I was able to get it on sale last summer when Viseart was doing an entire rebranding, so everything was 25% off, and even then it still wasn't a reasonable price, but it was cheaper and I do really like it, so I think it was worth it. This is pretty, but it's really not $80 pretty. Okay, so Too Faced re-released the Gingerbread Spice palette. It's on Nordstrom and QVC, I know that. I'm not sure about Ulta and Sephora. A part of me does really want this palette because I know a lot of people are really over the warm tone neutrals, and I am too, but this is a brighter version of that, and I do really like warm tones on myself, but I need to keep reminding myself that this is basically most of what I have already. It's Christmas themed. I'm a Grinch, so I should not want anything Christmas themed, and I'm sure it smells wonderful, as all Too Faced stuff does, but honestly, when I swatched it in store last year, the only shade that I was extra interested in was, I think it was called Hot Toddy, and it was that nice orangey pink duochrome that essentially look like Fireball from Urban Decay. If you're really lacking in warm tone neutrals, I guess this is something you should pick up, but I'm only in it for like the little orange and pink row there, and that is not a good enough reason for me to be into it, and especially not in the middle of the freaking summer. I barely like Christmas in December. So this next one is going to come as a surprise to most of y'all, but I'm going to anti-haul the Colourpop AHA Honey palette. I know we had been looking for a monochromatic yellow palette for a while, and I'm glad that Colourpop came out with one in their monochromatic series, and I really like that idea for a series, and I think a lot of people are going to get good use out of those palettes. However, aside from like maybe the purple one, I haven't been too particularly interested in them because like I would love to do an all purple look. I love that. But most of the others, I feel like since all of the looks are going to end up the same, I would rather just get something with a more variety of shades when I spend my money on a palette. And besides, I have a lot of palettes like the Certified Affinity 2, which is basically the blue and green palettes from Colourpop all in one. So I'm not particularly into those for me, and especially with the yellow one, which has a pressed glitter in the middle, which they've said is not okay for use around the eyes. And that makes me really uncomfortable because Colourpop has been doing that a lot recently, where they've had products that are marketed as eye products but aren't products that you can use around the eyes, and they don't specify, especially like with the glitter part. Like I can deal with staining like that comes with that Urban Decay Electric palette, like their pressed pigments and whatever. That's fine with me. My eyes aren't too terribly sensitive. But when it becomes mixed in and you're doing it a lot like they seem to be doing, that makes me kind of uncomfortable, especially with the glitter parts that could actually like damage your eyes if you didn't like look too closely and read that warning about that one shade. So that's uncomfy to me. I'm not here for it, don't need it, not gonna buy it. The next thing I'm not gonna buy is the BH Cosmetics Cancer palette from Zodiac Collection. Honestly, all of these are disappointing. This one is at least a little bit more unique than the others. It's really nice and cool tone, but honestly, I have a couple cool tone palettes in my collection. They are really pretty, but they don't get as much love as I would like to give them. I think just in general warm tones are more flattering on me, even though I have a pretty neutral skin tone. So I'm not gonna go for this. I'm sure it might work. I mean, this is honestly prettier than some of the others. It has a lot more variety, but it's still really just, it's really not my thing. Most of these are so disappointing. Next thing I will anti-haul, this is mostly palettes, honestly, because that's all that catches my eye ever, is the Violet Voss Donut. Oh, I Donut Care. Okay, that's a good pun. It's their fun-sized eyeshadow palette. It's really cute, and I really do like the color scheme. I like that it is a really nice combination of neutrals and colors, and that it's not just neutrals with a pop of color. It reminds me a lot of the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette, which I do have, and I got a lot of use out of it when I first got it, but I haven't been using it all that much recently. So I don't think having something like this would really add to my collection. I do really want to try Violet Voss, but honestly not a whole lot from them has caught my eye. So if they can make something that I'm interested in like real soon, I would get on it because I've heard their eyeshadows are really great. But just, this is not, it's cute. It is so much like the Too Faced Sugar Pop palette to me that I don't need it, not gonna buy it. Okay, so this one is something that a lot of people have been talking about. It is the KKW Body Foundation collection. Now, the reason I'm anti-hauling this is because I don't really care for any foundation products whatsoever anymore. But I've also seen a lot of people like crapping all over this too, because they're like, you should love yourself just the way you are, you shouldn't be worried about like stretch marks or skin conditions or whatever, but honestly, I don't think that's a good take either. I don't see any shame in like wearing body foundation, because honestly, a couple years ago, I probably would have wanted to wear something like that too, because I have like chest acne and I've had eczema just like all over my arms. Like, yeah, that probably wouldn't help either of those problems, but sometimes those are just things that like we want to cover up, and like that's fine. It's not for me because I like putting the fun colorful stuff on my face and like on my body, but like foundation is just too boring for me in my opinion, that I just don't see a need for it for me personally. I think it's actually, I I think it's a really good release because, I mean, even though I'm not a huge Kim Kardashian fan, I do always like wonder how exactly does she get like the look that she does. And now she's revealed her secret that in addition to all of the other stuff, it is body foundation. So that's really interesting to me. It's just not something that appeals to me personally, and especially not for like, I think it's like 40 bucks that you're paying for it, so not my thing, but not a bad release like some people think it is. Okay, so this is something that I'm talking myself out of. It is the Melt Cosmetics Impulsive palette. I've wanted something from Melt Cosmetics for a while. They just haven't had anything that really spoke to me. This color scheme really interests me because it's so like nice and 90s and grungy, but I kind of realized that like when it was swatched, I kind of looked at the differences between the mattes and the shimmers, and the mattes and the shimmers don't seem to make very cohesive looks. And I'm someone who I'll kind of put any, like whatever colors I feel like I want to put together, but it seems as though it's like a lot of warm tone mattes with a lot of cool tone shimmers, and there aren't a lot of cool tone mattes. There are a couple like reddish orange shimmers, but they really just don't seem to go together. So I really like the colors themselves, but I wish there was a little bit more variety in texture. If there was more variety in texture, I would be all over this because the color scheme is fabulous. The textures just don't seem to be very well thought out, and especially for $65, I don't think so. Okay, I'm also going to anti-haul the e.l.f. Jelly Pop collection, just because that's something I need to keep myself away from. I am so lured in by this packaging. It is so, I don't know, as someone who is like a very like sensory, tactile, texture loving person, I love like the packaging and the marketing of this, but like looking at what the collection actually is, it's like jelly blushes, jelly glosses, jelly skincare, and like a brush. And I really don't need any of that. I have been trying a lot of new skincare things that I really like, and I don't see any of those things fitting into my skincare routine. I might go for one of the blushes just because that seems interesting to me, but honestly I don't even think I would use that all that much because I don't know exactly how that application would go. It just doesn't make sense. So this is a thing that I objectively want, but no, I would never use any of this, and I only want it just so like I can feel the jelly stuff. Like I can just go like get some slime or like stick my hand in a jar of grape jelly and like have the same effect of what I would like to achieve by buying something from this collection. And the last thing I want to anti-haul is something that I'm kind of halfway anti-hauling. I have not seen this on like Trend Mood or anything like that, but I was just looking on the NYX Cosmetics website, and this was in their new in collection. They've released 2 Mystic Petals shadow palettes. Now I'm getting the pink and purple one. I'm getting that one, but I was tempted into getting the other one too, not because it's particularly something that I would use, like I think I would use it, but I have those colors otherwise in my collection, but because I feel like there's this pressure as a YouTuber to want to like, you know, even if it's something like this, just like get the whole collection, that way I can review it, give everyone a comprehensive review and stuff. But honestly, I'm trying to pare that down. I'm trying to get that down in my own mind, just because I kind of realize that for someone like me, like if I'm not interested in it, you're probably not going to be interested in it. There will be other people reviewing it, most likely. It's $12, so even if you can't find that many reviews, it's not a gigantic investment, and NYX always has coupons. Honestly, if I'm not interested in something, I do not want to spend my time or money reviewing it. So maybe this is something that I would review if I were like a larger YouTuber who was like actually able to make money doing this, you know, or if I had like a job that paid more than slightly above minimum wage, I might do it, but that is not my current situation. So I feel like a lot of times like there's this huge pressure to like get the whole collection, do the whole thing like as a YouTuber, but I really value being realistic on my channel. If I wouldn't buy something out of my own volition, if I didn't have a channel, if I wouldn't ever use it on the internet, then I probably shouldn't be buying it even you know, even though I do have a YouTube channel. So let me know what you think about that concept down below, just because I've been thinking about that for a little bit. Okay, I need to go wash my makeup off before I go to my kickboxing class. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you on my next one. Hope you'll have a wonderful day. Bye!